states both revenue and expenses by the amount of any transfers.
Yes, that is correct.
Because instead of having 6 columns, it has 4. It has beginning, revenue, expenditures, ending. Whereas it needs to have, and I have seen this presented like this, beginning, revenue, transfers in, expenses, transfers out, and ending.
Correct.
However, if I'm taking 900 out of, say, I think we gave the sheriff $700,000 in transfers. Just throw that figure out there.
Pretty close to that.
If I take 700,000 away from his revenue, but I take 700,000 away from general revenues, expenses, that has a zero effect on whether I'm gaining money or losing money.
True.
Right.
That is true.
But my only question is, you know, as you've presented these numbers, I hear the number 551,000, and I hear 383,000. My question is, if that in fact is the case, why do I have more money in the bank now than what I did when I started the year?
That's not true. When you go ahead and look at what has been built up by budgeted money that was not spent this year, okay, you have to look what's in the bank account and also what is in the investment account, okay, and in the packet of information that I will provide to you is a spreadsheet that deals just with what the fund accounts show, or what the reserves and fund balances are, and what investments are.
I'm not differentiating between investments and in the checking account. I'm saying at the end of the day. Give me 1 second.
Sure.
Let me grab something out of the file cabinet
Sure.
here.
Okay, that's fine.
And this does have the 6 columns that I just spoke about. And this is the same Treasury report you make reference to.
Right.
And this is investments. This is everything, every account that we can imagine, down to the cemetery fund. And we brought $5.952 million forward. And I have $6.1 million on 12/31.
Okay. Okay. Let me run these numbers by you, and this comes off the spreadsheet that I prepared using that as the base document. Okay. For our operating funds, we had a fund balance at the beginning of the year of $780,000 plus, and we increased that amount by $378,000 to get a final fund balance. This is just for the 5 operating accounts of $1.1 million. Okay.
For our 5 operating.
For the 5 operating accounts, okay?
You're talking just fund, not investments.
Correct.
I'm talking total dollars.
Okay, all right, if you're talking total dollars, in the investment balance, you had $3.2 million at the beginning of the year total.
Okay.
For the
In the 5
for the operating accounts, and that was decreased to $2.2 million at the end of the year. So, the net effect, when you use both the funds, fund balances, reserves, and the investments, you had a decrease in the 5 operating accounts of $104,980.
Okay, so 5 operating funds. Let's
Correct.
walk through this.
Okay?
You're talking about the general revenue.
General revenue, road and bridge,
Road and bridge,
law enforcement,
law enforcement,
assessor.
assessor, and 911.
Correct.
If you hold on just for a second, could you hand me that
Sure.
folder, Jim? Thanks.
Okay. This might be helpful, because it will help you walk. This is copy my statement, and then we can also walk through the spreadsheets that are attached, and you can see where I'm coming up with those numbers. Mhm.
But I guess before we labor through this entire thing,
Sure.
you're disputing the fact that I have more money than I started with.
Yes, based upon my analysis, okay.
Okay.
My bottom line for the county as a whole is that when you look at both fund balance increases and decreases, and investments increases and decreases, that from 1/1 to 12/31, those amounts decreased by $383,401.
So the same report that I have from the treasurer says we started with, if you count investments, fund balance, everything, $5,952,000. Are we in agreement there? Very last page of the treasurer's report.
I don't have the treasurer's report with me.
Okay, let me show you where I'm
Okay. If I'm looking at my spreadsheet and looking at all of the funds, all 54 funds.
which
Okay.
is in here.
Which is correct, right. Fund balances started at $1,800,000 at the beginning of the year. That's just reserves and fund balances. And it increased to $2.3 million, okay? So you had a $500,000 increase. Investments on 1/1 were $4.6 million, and they decreased to $3.7 million.
Okay.
So you had a $884,000 decrease in investments. So when you offset the increase in the fund balances of $500,000 with the decrease in investments of $884,000, that's where you get the net effect of a decrease of $383,000.
So I ought to be able to take what I started the year with and take $383,000 off of that, and that's what I really have in the bank?
According to my analysis of the treasurer's report that I went through, yes.
So you're telling me that my ending balance that I got from the treasurer that was verified by the auditor is incorrect? Am I to take that from your?
I don't know that the auditor verified the information that was in the treasurer's report, okay? But the information that I took.
That's how you gave me this account recap, was you took your numbers and cross-referenced it with, and compared it to what Deanna had, and you came up with the,
Yeah, my fund balances at the end of the year match up with the treasurer's fund balances. What may be a little bit confusing is on the treasurer's spreadsheet, the investments are included as part of the fund balance, but then she also has a separate line that just shows investments. So that might be confusing the whole picture.
but if a dollar moves from the investment fund into the fund balance, I've not spent it, I still have it.
Correct.
So,
During the year, I know for certain that the only money that was moved out of investments was in the jail improvement fund.
Right.
Basically everything in the jail improvement fund is in investments. So as it
it resides in there, and as we need it, we take it out of there.
Right.
I don't
We did-
dispute that
we did
the
not
investment
decrease-
fund balance went down,
Mm-hmm.
but overall, the bean counters tell me I have more money than what I had to start with.
Okay.
That's based on that report.
And I don't dispute the fact that investment balances went down, because some money was, this is probably the better report. Like in Road and Bridge, we actually added,
$560,000.
on this, investments, $868,000. There's some money parked that got moved from investments to, it's claim on cash on this particular report, that didn't get spent. It just moved out of investment. I don't doubt one bit that our investment balance But that's investment as in CDs and things like that and regular checking. But when it moves from investment into regular checking, we haven't lost it, we haven't spent it. Because I take the report, this is the treasurer's report, this is what the auditor gave me. And straight across the board, they both are in agreement that I had $5,952,000 and some change in the bank when I started the year. They both agree that when we turned off the lights on New Year's Eve, we had $6,102
What was,
in
the-
the
what was
bank.
that, what was that original figure that they started with at the beginning of the year?
$5,952,000. And that is including
That-
investments.
Okay, that figure is not the figure that I came up with out of the treasurer's balance, out of the treasurer's report. I came up with,
Now we're talking about all 54, not the operating,
correct, all 54,
okay?
okay? Fund balances plus investments at the beginning of the year, okay?
Mhm.
I show that there was $6,400,000 at the beginning of the year. $1,800,000 in fund balances and $4,600,000 in investments. And by the end of the year, that amount had decreased to just right at about $6 million. Therefore, a decrease of $400,000, give or take.
Right, so you're, all due respect, your beginning number does not agree with what the treasurer and the auditor have, and our balance includes investments. This is every penny that if somebody came in and held a gun to my, said, put your hands up, give me every dollar you had at the beginning of the year, I just said, let me write you a check for $5,952,000.
Okay, well, if you wish, in your packet of information, if you look on the last 4 pages
Right?
of the packet, is a spreadsheet. And it's called Fund Balances as Reserves, which are unused prior year funds, plus investments, okay? And if you want to go and compare those items against the treasurer's report, okay, that's how I arrived at that $6.4 million amount. By using those reserve fund balances and the investment balances. And I went through item by item. Some of it may be, I'm not sure. Maybe we're using different versions of the report, but I'm using the version that I got on January 17th. I did not bring that with me today, but I'd be glad to sit down and compare that with you and show you, just what exactly numbers that I used and all of that. But my accounting came up with, we started with 6.4 and we ended up with just a little, 6.4 million, and ended up with just a little over 6 million.
Right.
So I don't know where the disconnect is between those numbers.
I don't understand, that it's totaled up here on this report. I look at this report, balance forward, including investments, $5,952,000. What adjustment could possibly be made to that to arrive at your 6 point? I mean, that's as straightforward as I can see.
I don't know. And I don't know.
Because this
like I
is
said,
the only copy of that treasurer's report. I don't know how you got from 5.9 to 6.4.
Okay.
And I think it's safe to say that either you have the wrong number or we have the wrong number.
That's somewhere along the line, yes. We're using a different set of numbers.
But you're getting your numbers from the same source.
Allegedly from the same document. If you would do me the kindness and take that document and make me a copy of it, I would be glad to go back over my spreadsheet and make sure that we're using the same set of numbers to arrive at the same conclusion. But that does seem to be a disparity, because like I said, my analysis showed that we started with just a little over 6.4 million, and at the end of the year we concluded with just over 6 million.
what page on your, report here do you come up with your $6.4 million